All right, we're going to get back to Manisa, but right now, CHCH News is declaring a PC majority government. Doug Ford and the PC party has won its third term in office. Now, to get right into it, let's throw it over to Louis Bucko and the panel for their reaction to this third PC majority government.
All right, Matt, thank you. Here on our colorful panel set tonight, where I have the privilege of speaking with our political analysts, and let's jump right into it. Randy Rath, longtime Queen's Park producer. 9:10 p.m. we're calling it for the PC majority. Your reaction?
I don't think there's much of a surprise there, but there's still a reason to keep watching us, and that's to see who takes second place, who becomes the official opposition. Right now it's pretty close between the NDP and the Liberals, so it looks like both of them are going to get party status, which is a big thing, particularly for the Liberals. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a very important thing to see who is the official opposition, and we should know that in. How long do you think?
Well, I mean, it took 10 minutes to declare a PC majority, so we'll have to watch. Former Liberal cabinet minister and MPP for Hamilton Mountain, Marie Butriani, is here with us as well. Are you encouraged by what you're seeing right now with the Liberals? We talked about getting 12 seats to be back at official party status, a big election for them. What are your early indications so far?
Well, I am hoping they get official party status. It makes a big difference. They have more money, they can get their message out more effectively, and they can represent their constituents more effectively as well. But if you permit me, I do want to say thank you to all the candidates that have put their hat in the ring, particularly those where the poll numbers showed they don't have much of a chance. Mm-hmm. That's really tough, and it takes a lot of courage, and our democracy demands that. So thank you on all our behalf, I'm sure, for doing that. And yes, I hope official opposition status, but at the very least, party status. And
Drew Fagan, former deputy minister at Queen's Park, with us here as well. You're also professor at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. Very early call. Doug Ford wouldn't have called this election if he didn't think he could add to his seats or at least re-win a majority government. The gamble pays off, I guess, but to the surprise of nobody.
Yeah, the gamble does pay off, and it's not a surprise. And the other thing was, the planning for this election, which is an early election, had been going on for months. But in some ways, the rationale had changed. Originally, thinking was to get ahead of a federal conservative majority. Then it changed to him standing strong against Trump. That's what talked about as the federal environment completely changed. You know, this is historic. The PCs haven't won 3 majorities in a row since, I think, Leslie Frost in the 1950s. This is a big deal. This doesn't happen very often in Ontario politics. You think about Dalton McGuinty, who you were with, 2 majorities, then a minority. The Liberals had 4 governments, because then Kathleen Wynne took over. 3 majority governments is quite something.
Yeah, and speaking of historic, voter turnout is a number we'll be watching a lot tonight. The last election in 2022, 44%. That was the lowest ever. Right. That number might be tough to beat with such a short campaign. And like we've been talking about, Randy, in the middle of winter, too, which saw some significant snowfall.
It looks like this is the worst weather there's ever been, historically, for an election in Ontario, for an Ontario election. So that's a big thing. And I think that plays in Doug Ford's favor in that you know, people that go out to vote on a day like this, in some areas of the province, you need to have a big, giant pickup truck, or you've got to have a 4-wheel drive. And, you know, people that take transit and people that drive little small putt-putt cars, they're not getting out to the polling stations, so that works in Doug Ford's favor.
Less advanced voting days, just a shorter campaign, and the benefit of door knockers that the PC party had. They had paid canvassers going out there. They had a lot more money. Marie, when you look at how the Conservatives use their advantage in such big categories, spending, volunteers, official party, right, being the incumbent government, they did have a lot in their favor going into this race.
Yeah, politically it was smart to hold it now. It was in his favor. I still think it was an unnecessary election, and I'll say that for my party too when they do things like this. The reason being he had to fight Trump's tariffs. You could fight Trump's tariffs as premier and as an MPP much stronger than as a candidate. But I think politically he saw an opportunity, he took it, and that's politics.
Drew, what are you going to be watching for the rest of the night? Now that we've called the PC majority, what intricacies of the races are you going to be watching, or big picture?
Well, one question is whether he gets a larger majority than he did last time. That was certainly part of the rationale. If he gets something under 79 seats, then again you ask, why bother in the middle of winter? You know, and it will be interesting to see the other two parties. There has been a race throughout the campaign for second place. It does look like the Liberals will come back to official party status, which is significant. Just want to make one point about a third majority. The record of this government, and for a variety of reasons, the pandemic, things came at them, but you look at economic growth, you look at housing, which has become a fundamental issue. You look at healthcare and the challenges there. But economic growth in particular, growth has been slower between 2018 and today than previous governments, whether it was the Harris government, PCs, or the McGuinty government, Liberals. So in some ways, the record is mediocre compared to the extraordinary political record that has come out of this third majority.
All right, later on the panel, we'll be joined by Simon Kiss, Associate Professor of Political Science at Wilfrid Laurier. But before Laurier University, excuse me. Before that happens, Matt, we'll send it back to you.